What's up? My name is Colton. Welcome to the Whiskey Weather YouTube page. Hey, my name is Colton. Thank you so much for coming by the Whiskey Weather YouTube channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And if you're a returning viewer, thanks for stopping by. So my buddy lent me his Fender Acoustasonic DSP. It's the same buddy that me and him shot the Fishman Loud Box Mini versus the Fender Acoustasonic. And we come to the agreement that the Fender was the best value for the used market and that the Fishman was the best value for the new market. But even after we shot that versus video, I was left with a big question: is who is this amp for? And that's what we're about to get into. So not to start this video off with hate against the Acoustasonic, I do want to say that it took me 20 to 30 minutes just to find the right model of this thing, because Fender uses Acoustasonic now for guitars. Also a miniature version of this particular model, which the Fender Acoustasonic DSP 40 watt or 80 watt, because it's two 40 watt amps, is no longer in production. So it took me a while to find it. So
Fender, please quit naming shit Acoustasonic. Please.
Now that that's out of the way, let's jump right into the outside of the machine. The styling of this machine is definitely leaning into Fender's vintage look, with the classic badging, Acoustasonic label, two chrome bumpers that turn the legs into kickstands to kick the amp back at about a 45-degree angle. This machine does have some pretty smart features built into it and a heavy-duty handle, which we will get back to in a minute. On the instrument side of things, we have a 3-band EQ, a feedback notch, which is some sort of suppressor, I guess. It didn't really work for me, and a string dynamic knob, which I have never heard of and really didn't have no idea what it was, and it really didn't do anything. Nine built-in effects from Vibratone, which is Fender's fancy word for phaser, I guess, and an effects level that really lets you dial in your effects. So moving right along to the XLR side, we have another 1/4 inch input. We have a master volume, a 2-band EQ, the same 9 effect and effects level, and the power switch, which is on the face, which I find really, really handy. And let's flip this thing over and see what we got on the back. On the back side, we have the power input, a foot switch input, a balanced out, and a stereo effects loop. One of my favorite features about this machine is the cord holder on the back. It wraps right up, and I think that this is something that other manufacturers and Fender could definitely keep putting or put on machines. It's definitely a lifesaver, and it makes it a lot easier for transport. So let's talk about the size of the actual amp. The Acoustasonic has a fairly normal footprint size for your standard amp, but is significantly larger than most all-in-one systems you can find on the market today. Do you remember that robust handle I was mentioning earlier? Well, you're going to need it, because this thing comes in at 41 pounds. This thing is massive, it's huge, it's heavy, it's obnoxiously heavy. Well, now that we've gone over the outside, let's kind of jump into the guts a little bit of this thing. So the guts of the Acoustasonic DPS is made up of two 40-watt amplifiers, two 8-inch speakers, and a tweeter. Now, I imagine most of the weight has to come from them dual amplifiers, and there is a lot of other features I'm sure that are on here, but it was hard to find because, like I said, this particular one is out of production, so I couldn't find too much more information on it. And to be honest, those kind of things really don't matter to me, and probably don't matter to somebody who this machine and machines like this are marketed for. So let's talk about the sound profile. The one thing I can tell you about this machine, it is a powerhouse. In a standard size bedroom, I can put this thing on 2 out of a 10 volume scale, and the feedback is already at swelling volumes. Once you dial in your instrument through the EQ and put on whatever effects you desire, this thing doesn't sound like it's coming through an amplifier. This thing sounds like a massive guitar in the room. It's amazing. Like, it was a crisp, clean tone. That classic bright Fender tone Fender is known for definitely shines through on this thing. It has tons of effects that you can mess with and use at your disposal. The vocals, on the other hand, was the opposite. It sounded very computerized. It sounded almost like I was talking through a tin can. The EQ was really hard and tricky to mess with, and the volume, again, was so loud it was very hard to use in your average American-sized bedroom without getting tons and tons of feedback. So the sound profile of this thing, it has great sounding guitar and very limiting vocals on it for me. So that's where I stand on the sound profile of this thing. So with everything being said, is this out of date, out of production, heavy, bulky, cable limited, guitar forward, but has tons of effects, useless effects. Cost effective, has amazing sound, lots of volume, all in one portable PA for you? Probably not, but I can't explain. I don't think that singer-songwriters, coffee shop, small bars, and restaurants are going to be attracted to this machine only because it has very limiting features due to the age of it and the size of it. You can't attach your phone. It's extremely heavy. It's really loud for most places you'll be playing, and the vocals on this thing are really, really lacking. I don't think this is for the gigging musician in 2020. So your more experienced guitar player is definitely going to be leaning into a more traditional amp to get a full tube sound out, and something they can really mess with to dial in the guitar. And I don't think this thing is for beginners because it can be really intimidating with all the knobs and effects on the front of this thing. Its weight is very cumbersome, and also it's missing features that a lot of other amps are offering in 2020 for a little bit more of the price. But the one thing that the Fender Acoustasonic DPS has going for it is the price. You can find this thing used on Reverb sub $300, around $200, with them all being in great shape because this thing is no longer in production. So again, who is this thing for? I believe there is a market. I think it is a marginalized market or a really small market, but there definitely is people that this machine would fit for. If you're not somebody who is wanting to break the bank, need something to play and sing through for family events, host parties, you're a hobbyist musician, you aren't going to be traveling a lot, and you need to make a shitload of noise with a reputable American brand behind you, I believe that the Fender Acoustasonic DPS is for you. Video up, guys. Again, my name is Colton. Thank you so much for stopping by the Whiskey Weather YouTube channel. And if you own a Fender Acoustasonic DPS, share your story with yours, what you love about it, what you hate about it, how have you used it in the comments below, and help somebody else make a good decision. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.